to my channel. So today I have a 50 all-time scary movies to watch this Halloween. Now my list is so long, so you guys grab some popcorn or something because you're gonna be here for a while, okay? So I'm gonna be listing every single scary movie you should be watching this Halloween, okay? So I'm gonna list everything from like the classics to the new movies, everything you need to be watching. It is so good. If you like this video, please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite scary movie is. Let's get on into the video. Number 1 is Sinister. Now Sinister is the last scary, like really scary movie I have seen. So yeah, Sinister kind of ruined it for me. I watched Sinister and I haven't watched like a really scary movie since. I have watched like some scary stuff, some spooky movies, but it's nothing too scary that I would like be freaked out at. But yeah, let's just say Sinister had me thinking I was seeing the Sinister face while I was taking a shower. Like, Sinister creeped me out. I was scared. It is a scary movie. Be prepared, okay? This list is about all the scary movies to watch this Halloween. So I'm talking about real scary movies. This is a real scary movie. Sinister, if that's what you're into, I'm warning you right now, it's a really scary movie. So the movie Sinister is about a true crime writer, Ellison Oswald, who is in a slump. He hasn't had a bestseller in more than 10 years and is becoming increasingly desperate for a hit. So when he discovers the existence of a snuff film showing the deaths of a family, he vows to solve the mystery. He moves his own family into the victim's home and gets to work. However, when the old footage and other clues hint at the presence of a supernatural force, Ellison learns that living in the house may be fatal. More fatal than what he thought, because it is so scary. It is so freaking scary. I'm preparing you guys right now. If you really want to watch a scary film, that is it. If you're not into scary films, don't watch that movie. I'm telling you right now, do not watch that movie because you will be so scared. You're not gonna sleep that night, okay? I'm just letting you know right now. Okay, you're gonna put some Disney Channel on or something. Now the next movie I have for you guys is The Ring. Now I used to watch The Ring when I was younger. I'm pretty sure I saw it 1, 2, maybe 3 times tops. That's it. But maybe not even twice. I'm not even sure. Let's just say I watched it and it stuck with me. It is stuck with me until now. It was literally the #1 scariest movie I've ever seen until I saw Sinister, okay? Like, that movie, well, by the way, I was a kid when I saw that movie, and let's just say that back then, there was, like, the old TVs, and the TVs would, like, go, like, when it would go static, it would just be all black and white staticky, and let's just say I hightailed it out of my room whenever the TV did that, okay? I jumped out of the bed after watching The Ring. I remember watching The Ring with my grandma, my brothers and sister, and let me just tell you, it was so scary. Oh my gosh, it's about a little girl who freaking comes out of the well, and then she like starts coming out of the TV, and then it's just no. Every time the TV went static, she comes out of it, and it's just no, 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 no. It was so scary, especially back then, because when your TV went static, let me just say, you were not playing around. You were out of there, okay? Because you were just thinking that little ring girl was coming out. So The Ring is basically about an urban legend where a videotape filled with nightmarish images leads to a phone call foretelling the viewer's death in exactly 7 days. Newspaper reporter Rachel Keller is skeptical of the story until 4 teenagers all die mysteriously exactly 1 week after watching just such a tape. Allowing her investigative curiosity to get the better of her, Rachel tracks down the video and watches it. Now she has just 7 days to unravel the mystery. Rachel, that was a bad idea, girl. Big mistake. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. If you really want a scary movie to watch, watch The Ring. That was so scary. I just remember that just scarred me, okay? Oh, let's move on. Let's move on from The Ring, okay? So the next film I have for you guys is Insidious. Now Insidious is very scary. I'm pretty sure there's 2 movies or 3 movies. I did not watch the second movie after I watched the first one. Let me just say that because I was scared, okay? Insidious, very scary movie. It came out a few years back. It's really good. It's about this couple who moves into this house. They have a comatose son, and their son basically becomes possessed by this evil entity that is in the house. And yeah, let's just say it is not a film for the faint of heart. So the next movie, which you probably already seen, it is Us by Jordan Peele. Now, Us is a thriller slash horror movie, and it came out last year, and it is about a woman who is accompanied by her husband, son, and daughter, returned to a beachfront home where she grew up as a child. Haunted by a traumatic experience in the past, Adelaide grows increasingly concerned that something bad is going to happen. Her worst fears soon become a reality when 4 masked strangers descend upon the house, forcing the Wilsons into a fight for survival. When the masks come off, the family is horrified to learn that each attacker takes the appearance of one of them. Now, this was such a great idea that Jordan Peele had, because this is such a good movie. It is so different than what we have seen before, and that ending, like, just wow. You know, just wow to the ending. It's something that's like you should have known, but you didn't know, but you kind of knew, but they tricked you, and it's like, but it's so good, and you definitely have to watch it, okay? You really have to watch it. Oh, it's so good, okay? Now, the next movie I have for you guys, which I'm sure you already seen before, is Get Out by Jordan Peele, which is literally still one of the best movies ever. It is a horror slash thriller, and it is about Chris and his girlfriend Rose, who have reached the meet the parents milestone of dating. She invites him for a weekend getaway upstate with Missy and Dean. At first, Chris reads the family's overly accommodating behavior as nervous attempts to deal with their daughter's interracial relationship. But as the weekend progresses, a series of increasingly disturbing discoveries lead him to a truth that he could never have imagined. Now, let's just say if anybody offers you tea, do not take it, okay? Don't take that tea. But it is such a good movie. I kind of wish Get Out had like a second movie, like it had a sequel, but I also don't, because I feel like the first one was just perfectly made. Like, it was so good. It really doesn't need a second movie, but you kind of do want to find out what happens to the girl, you know what I mean? You want to find out, but whatever. It is such a good movie. Watch it, okay? I'm not gonna spoil anything else for you because it is so good. Watch that movie. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is Hush. Now, Hush is a really good movie. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix right now, but they might have taken it off. I'm not sure yet. But Hush is about a deaf writer who basically moves to the woods to live a life by herself. She basically has to fight for her life when there's a masked guy that comes and basically tries to attack her and kill her, and she has to fight in silence the whole time because of course she can't hear, so that's what it's about. And it's very creepy and very sad that that would happen, but at the same time, it is a possibility. You never know. Like with scary movies, you really look at it and you think about it and you're like, yeah, that's a possibility that that might happen in real life. You never know, honestly. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is Would You Rather. Now, this is a really good movie. It is currently on Netflix, and it's basically about the main character and 7 other people who are basically invited into a mansion, and they're going to be giving a large sum of money if they play this evil game. And in the game of Would You Rather, you basically have a choice. Would you rather do this or would you rather do that? And whatever you get, you gotta do, or else you don't get the money, you don't win. Like, the girl is fighting for her little brother who is sick. Other people have different things that they want to fight for, and it's basically a test of limits. Like, how far would you go to get what you want? And they literally, this guy makes them do crazy things, like really insane crazy things, some disgusting things. It's wild, but it's a really good movie. It's on Netflix right now. Go check it out. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is As Above, So Below, and it's a really good movie. It's basically a scary movie based on the catacombs in Paris. Now, I've actually been to the catacombs in Paris, and I've actually been kind of like, not left alone, but like the whole group was leaving, and I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was taking pictures or something, but the next thing I know, I turn around and everybody's gone, and I was just there by myself, and I looked back and I thought of this movie, and I was just like, I was like running. I was like, no, I'm not gonna let it be. I'm not gonna let it happen. But it is such a good movie, you guys. Like, I remember being in the catacombs, and I'm not gonna lie, it is a very creepy place. It is very scary, especially if you're there alone. Like, I remember when I was there, in that very second when I realized that I was alone, and I turned and I looked, there was no one else around me, I just felt this cold chill run over me, and I was just like, no, there's no way. I need to get out of here. I just ran to the next exit, you know what I mean? And then I finally found like the group again. But I was just like, yeah, when you're in the catacombs, don't stop to take a picture, okay? It's about archaeologist Scarlett Marlowe, who has devoted her whole life to finding one of history's greatest treasures, Flamel's Philosopher's Stone. According to legend, the artifact can grant eternal life and turn any metal into gold. When she learns that the stone is hidden underground in the catacombs of Paris, she assembles a crew to guide and document her historic mission. As they begin their descent, the team members have no way of knowing that they are entering their own personal hell. Yes, I definitely recommend you to watch this movie. It is very scary. It is currently on Netflix right now, so go check it out. The next movie I have for you guys is Green Room. Now, this is currently streaming on Netflix right now, and I definitely recommend it. It's a really good movie. It is about a punk rock band who becomes trapped in a secluded venue after finding a scene of violence. For what they saw, the band themselves become targets of violence from a gang of white power skinheads who want to eliminate all evidence of the crime. Now, this is currently streaming on Netflix, and it's a really good movie. It is very gory, so if you like gory stuff, then this is a movie for you. It is a very gore-filled movie. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of killing, but it's a really good movie. It's a really scary movie. Go check it out. The next movie I have for you guys is The Gift. Now, this is currently streaming on Netflix as well, and it's a really good movie. It's basically about this couple who move back to the husband's hometown, and they move into this house, and one of the guys they meet there while they're shopping at this store is like this old guy that the husband went to school with. And of course, the husband like bullied him or whatever, and he was a weird kid. And I'm like, this movie just goes to show, do not bully people, okay? Do not do that, because they will come after you later on in life. You never know. But it is basically about a married couple, Simon and Robin, who unexpectedly encounter Gorbo, an acquaintance from Simon's past. Little do they know their perfect lives will be thrown into a terrifying tailspin. At first, Simon doesn't recognize Gordo. Sorry, why do I keep saying Gorbo? At first, Simon doesn't recognize Gordo, but after a troubling series of uninvited encounters and mysterious gifts, a horrifying secret emerges. As Robin learns what really happened between Simon and Gordo, she begins to question how well she knows her spouse. Yeah, she better question that. Basically, a lot of like really crazy stuff happens because Gordo is basically like, he thinks the husband has changed, which I'm actually not 100% sure. I feel like he probably thought the husband has changed a little bit, but in him, he probably always thought that he would never change. And literally the movie goes to show that he just never changed. So I'm not saying Gordo did what's right, but Gordo got his revenge. I'm just saying Gordo got his revenge. Like, it's a scary movie, but it's a really good movie. Go check it out. The next movie I have for you guys, which I'm pretty sure you already seen, is Paranormal Activity. Now, Paranormal Activity has been here for so long, I just feel like everybody has seen it. But I know there's some people who haven't seen Paranormal Activity yet, and it's just a really good movie. It's a really scary movie as well. There are multiple movies in this series. I'm pretty sure there's probably like 4 movies, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But it's a really good movie. You know what I just noticed though? Like, why does all these scary movies are basically based on like what happens when you move to a new home? Like, oh my gosh, like all of these movies about you move to a new house and it's haunted or something bad happens or just something. So basically Paranormal Activity has 6 films in it out of the series. And the first one is basically about soon after moving into a suburban tract home, Katie and Micah become increasingly disturbed by what appears to be a supernatural presence. Hoping to capture evidence of it on film, they set up video cameras in the house but are not prepared for the terrifying events that follow. Now, Paranormal Activity is currently on Hulu right now, so you can watch it if you want to, but it's a really good movie. It's really scary. There's 6 movies in the franchise, so definitely go check it out. So the next movie I have for you guys is Saw, one of my personal favorites. I love Saw. I love that franchise. I wish they never stopped it. They did kind of restart it with like Jigsaw, but I didn't think it was that good. I'm not gonna lie, it just was not as scary or not as gory or not as good as the original films. But Saw is really good. It's a great franchise, a great series. Saw is basically about John Kramer, the Jigsaw killer, and he's basically a clown who gets all these people into like this warehouse I'm pretty sure they're all warehouses, but he gets all these people into warehouses and like makes them go through like these crazy experiences and crazy games where like, you know, they could be chained up to something or something is attached to their head that's gonna close up on them, and it's a bunch of crazy stuff, and they have to do it. They have to try to get out of it before the time runs up or they die. And it's very scary. A lot of the styles are scary. I remember loving these movies when I was a kid. Now, I'm not going to go into all the movies, but the first movie is about photographer Adam Steinhardt and oncologist Lawrence Gordon, who regain consciousness while chained to pipes at either end of a filthy bathroom. As the two men realize they've been trapped by a sadistic serial killer named Jigsaw and must complete his perverse puzzle to live, flashbacks relate the fates of his previous victims. Meanwhile, Dr. Gordon's wife and young daughter are forced to watch his torture via closed-circuit video. Woo! That was a lot of talking. Goodness gracious. Saw is such a good franchise. It's such good films. They're really great for Halloween. They're really scary. Go check it out if you really want something scary to watch. Now the next movie I want to talk to you guys about is called It. Now It is based off of the Stephen King book It, and it's a really good movie. They have the original film, which came out like way back when, and the new ones that they just came out with recently. And I kind of like the recent ones more because just the special effects and like the blood and the gore and all that stuff, and the graphics are way different, way better now. Whereas like back then they didn't have that. I mean, the original film is still good. I've seen the original, it's still good. It's just, you know, since it was made way back when, they didn't have what they have now. So now when you watch it, it's just like, nah, like it's just, you know, whatever. But it's still such a good film. So if you're into like classic Halloween movies, like classic movies, then that's definitely a film for you to watch. Now It basically comes in two parts. The first movie focuses on the kids, and the second movie focuses on the kids as adults. And it's a really good film. It's basically about 7 young outcasts in Derry, Maine are about to face their worst nightmare, an ancient shape-shifting evil that emerges from the sewer every 27 years to prey on the town's children. Banding together over the course of one horrifying summer, the friends must overcome their own personal fears to battle the murderous, bloodthirsty clown known as Pennywise. Now, it is such a good film, but the second film I think is so much better just because they're adults, so it's a bit more like older. So it is so good. I really recommend for you guys to go check it out. It's really great. Now the next movie I have for you guys is Scary Movie. Now I love Scary Movie so much. I cannot tell you guys how much I love Scary Movie. Now Scary Movie is basically just a funny version of all scary movies. Like, it is perfect. It's a perfect combination of scary and funny for Halloween. It is so good, especially the original films. There are so many films in this franchise. I'm pretty sure there's probably like 10 of them, okay? But they're so good. I really love the original ones. So 1, 2, I'm not really 3, but 4. I really love 4. That one I used to be obsessed with for a while. That one is so good. It has Dr. Phil in it and Shaq at the beginning. And the first couple movies with the Wayne brothers, literally when I tell you the Wayne brothers made this franchise, as well as Anna of course, but they are so funny. The first 2 movies are the funniest things ever, especially the first movie. I love that movie so much. It is so funny, especially the butler with the hand. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is the funniest thing ever, especially when he's like putting the food on the dining table and his hand I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys because it's the best scene ever. It is so funny. You guys have to watch it. Scary Movie is literally the best. Go watch it. They usually play it like on TV all the time, but I'm pretty sure you can watch it on demand as well. And they also have it on Hulu, I believe. But let me double check real quick. No, they have it on Tubi. They have it on Tubi for free right now, so definitely go watch it. Now the next movie I'm going to recommend to you guys is Jennifer's Body. Now Jennifer's Body, starring Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried, are so amazing. It's such a good film. It's such a nice thriller slash like horror movie, and kind of like a comedy as well. But it is so funny and so good. Megan Fox did an incredible job at this. It's currently streaming on Hulu right now, and it is about a demon who takes possession of a high school hottie, Jennifer. Wow, hottie well, Megan Fox is a hottie, but like, so it is about when a demon takes possession of a high school hottie, Jennifer, who turns a hungry eye on guys who never stood a chance of her before. While evil Jennifer satisfies her appetite for human flesh with the school's male population, her nerdy friend Needy learns what's happening and vows to put an end to the carnage. Now it's a really great film, and at the end of it, like, you wouldn't really expect it to happen, but you kind of like know. But it's a really great film, and I really recommend you guys watching it because the effects in it is amazing. It is such a good movie. Definitely go check it out, watch it. And the next movie I have for you guys is Heathers. Now Heathers is a really old movie, but it's a really good movie. It's starring Sharon Doherty and Winona Ryder. and it is currently streaming on Tubi. Now this movie is about a girl named Veronica who is a part of the most popular clique at her high school, but she disapproves of the other girls' cruel ways. When she starts dating her new boyfriend, JD, they confront the clique leader, Heather Chandler, and accidentally poison her. They make it appear as a suicide. Soon Veronica realizes that JD is intentionally killing students he does not like. She races to stop JD while also clashing with the clique's new leader, Heather Duke. It is such a good film. I'm telling you guys, go watch it. Go check it out. It's so good. Especially if you love like really classic old films. This is it. It's so good. Now the next movie I'm going to recommend to you guys is Freddy vs. Jason, which is such a good movie, you guys. Both of the franchises, like both of those series are so good, but when they come together in this movie to do the Freddy vs. Jason, it is literally the best thing ever. It's such a good movie. Now Freddy vs. Jason is about two horror icons who face off in a supernatural movie. Disfigured serial killer Freddy Krueger, who attacks his victims in their dreams, has lost much of his power since citizens of his town have become less afraid of him. Enlisting the help of fellow violent murderer Jason Voorhees, Freddy orchestrates a new killing spree. However, when the hockey mask wearing psychopath won't stop chopping up Freddy's intended victims, the two ghosts start to battle each other. So it is really good. It's literally like the two horror icons fighting each other. Like whoever came up with this movie is such a genius, okay? It is such a good movie. You guys have to watch it. You have to check it out. It is so good. Go watch it. Now the next movie I have for you guys is The Strangers Prey at Night. Now this movie is basically about like this crazy family who are like obsessive killing, and they basically like find this house in the middle of the night and decided that, you know, they want to kill the people inside the house. So The Strangers Prey at Night is currently streaming on Hulu right now. This movie is literally about the crazy family. It's three of them and they're all wearing masks. And they're basically trying to kill this family who is at this mobile home park. And they're literally insane, especially the young one, which is like the one who's really into blood and the craziness. Like, it's so crazy. I really recommend you guys to watch it. It's very scary, very creepy just to imagine, you know what I mean? Imagine that happening. It is just so scary and creepy, but it's currently streaming on Hulu right now, so definitely go check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys is called The Invitation. I watched this a while ago and I really enjoyed it. I really like this movie. It is very scary and it is a thriller/horror movie. It's currently streaming on Netflix right now. The Invitation is basically about a couple who go to a dinner party at the husband's former house with his ex-wife and her new husband, and basically the ex-wife and the new husband basically have some crazy plans cooked up for that dinner party and for the guests that they have over that night, because it is insane. And when you see the ending of this movie, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, just to think this is happening, like, oh my gosh, everywhere is just so, it kind of creeps you out, okay? Because it's like literally a cult film, and on that night they basically have the cult night where they go out and kill everybody, and that's what they're doing on this night, and just all these people are doing it, and it's very scary, very creepy. It is just, oh, it's really creepy, very scary, but it is so good. The effects are good. It's a good movie. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys, which of course is a classic, and it is Halloween with Michael Myers. And there's a whole series about this. There's multiple films in this series. It is such a good film. And it's basically about, on a cold Halloween night in 1963, 6-year-old Michael Myers brutally murdered his 17-year-old sister Judith. He was sentenced and locked away for 15 years. But on October 30th, 1978, while being transferred for a court date, a 21-year-old Michael Myers steals a car and escapes Smith Grove. He returns to his quiet hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois, where he looks for his next victims. Now, Halloween is such a good movie. It is such a classic. And I'm pretty sure they're making a new movie coming out maybe this year or next year. But it is such a good film. And it's one of those scary movies where, like, you really have to watch. You know what I mean? That and Scream and even a scary movie. Like, those are, like, the #1 movies that you need to watch during Halloween. Or just out of the whole thriller, horror genre, those are the movies you need to watch. It is so good. Go watch it. Because you don't want Michael Myers to come and get you. So definitely watch them. Alright, so the next film that I have for you guys is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now this is a pretty old film. They played it a lot during like early 2000s, 2010s. Not really lately. I haven't seen a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre lately. But I remember being a really good series because there's multiple films in the series and it's a really good movie. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre is basically about a girl named Sally who hears that her grandfather's grave may have been vandalized. She and her paraplegic brother Franklin set out with their friends to investigate. After a detour to the family's old farmhouse, they discover a group of crazed murderous outcasts living next door. As the group is attacked one by one by the chainsaw-wielding Leatherface, who wears a mask of human skin, the survivors must do everything they can to escape. Now, this movie is currently streaming on Tubi right now, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is really good. I definitely recommend you guys go watch it. Alright, so the next movie I have for you guys is A Nightmare on Elm Street. As I mentioned before with Freddy vs. Jason, there are other films in this franchise based on the two different characters, Freddy and Jason, and this one is about Freddy Krueger. And it's a really good movie. There are multiple films in this series as well. And this one, Nightmare on Elm Street, is about teenagers who fall prey to Freddy Krueger, a disfigured midnight mangler who preys on the teenagers in their dreams, which in turn kills them in reality. After investigating the phenomenon, Nancy begins to suspect that a dark secret kept by her and her friends' parents may be the key to unraveling the mystery. But can Nancy and her boyfriend Glenn help solve the problem before it's too late? Now, it is such a good film. I really enjoy the Freddy franchise as well as the Jason one. I do not have a favorite over the other. They are both good, so definitely go check it out, because in this movie, Freddy basically comes in the middle of the night while these kids are dreaming and basically like shows them how they're gonna die, and then they actually end up dying like that in real life the next day. So it's a really good movie, and just be careful if you ever dream of Freddy, okay? The next movie I have for you guys is House of Wax. Now, House of Wax is not the most scariest movie, but it's still a really good movie. And basically, House of Wax is about a gang of college friends, including Wade and his girlfriend Carrie, are en route to a school football game when they wind up with a flat tire in a ghost town. They are forced to seek help in the only place that's open, the local wax museum. Once inside the spooky and seemingly abandoned building, they find the works on display are not quite what they seem. And the group soon discovers it's being haunted by the insane twin brothers who run the museum. It's a really good movie, and Chad Michael Murray is in it, so just saying, you know, it's literally Lucas Scott, okay? I'm just saying, if that's not enough, you need to watch the film. But also Paris Hilton is in it, which is like, okay. But it is such a good movie, and I definitely recommend you guys watch it, okay? Alright, so back to our little franchise, our little movie, Freddy vs. Jason. The next movie I have for you guys is the Jason's franchise, the Jason movie. Now, this movie is Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th is a really good film. There are multiple films as well. And this is currently streaming on the Sling platform, but they usually play all these movies on TV anyway, so I'm pretty sure you can watch it there as well. Now, Friday the 13th is a really good film. It's basically about Jason, who, you know, basically was drowned in the lake as a kid by these kids at summer camp, and he basically comes back to murder everybody. Like, he is not joking around. He just wants to murder everybody. He ends up surviving, and now he has to wear a mask because his face is like messed up. But with the kids that are in this movie, they come and they basically, like, you know, are trying to like get through, and Jason is just waiting there to kill everybody because he does not care. He sees kids, he thinks of the camp, he thinks of his time there and the kids that like try to drown him. So he basically just wants to kill all the kids and anybody who comes near him. And it's such a good film. Friday the 13th is amazing. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already. Now, the next film I have for you guys is one of my favorites. I love watching these movies. There are multiple movies in this franchise, and it is Final Destination. Now, they don't really make these movies anymore, so if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. These movies are so amazing, okay? Friday the 13th is really great. Did I say Friday the 13th? Not Friday the 13th. Final Destination is really great. They're such good films, and I definitely recommend you go check them out. So Final Destination is basically based on a series of events that occur, and right before they occur, this kid has a dream of it. Now, it's either a girl or a guy. They have a dream of what's about to happen, and then when they wake up from the dream, they're literally about to be in that moment when it's about to happen. So in the first movie, the guy is on the plane. They're taking a school trip. I believe it's to Paris. They're on the plane getting prepared to take off, and this guy has a dream that literally the plane explodes and like everybody dies in the plane. So once he wakes up in his dream, he immediately runs off the plane. Is telling everybody, get off the plane, get off the plane. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna explode, all this stuff, get off the plane. Like, him and a couple other people get off the plane, and when they get off the plane, what happened in this dream actually happened in real life. The plane explodes, and then they get basically, you know, questioned by the cops, and then they basically, you know, are going on with their lives, and when they soon realize is that they can't escape death. That is what Final Destination is about. You can't escape death. If that's your fate, then that is it. There's nothing you can do. It is basically a bunch of different events that happen to kill the kids who left the plane that night, and everybody who thinks they survive ends up dying anyway. So that's the thing. Like, if you survive the first movie, you're gonna die in the second one. Like, that is the thing. Like, there are so many movies in this franchise, and there's so many good, like, different events that happen and different stories, and it's such a good film. I definitely recommend you guys to watch it. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is The Exorcist. Now, The Exorcist is actually based on real life events. It's a true story, and it is basically about a young Reagan who starts acting odd, levitating, speaking in tongues, and her worried mother seeks medical help only to hit a dead end. A local priest, however, thinks the girl may be seized by the devil. The priest makes a request to perform an exorcism, and the church sends in an expert to help with the difficult job. And basically, the little girl is basically the priest fighting against the demon and the little girl, and it is insane, it is scary, but it is so good. It is definitely a movie to watch for Halloween, or a creepy horror scary film if you haven't seen yet. Definitely go check it out. Now, the next film I have for you guys is Carrie, and I love Carrie. It's a really good film. They have recreated this movie, so I'm not really sure whether I love the first one or the second one more, but it is such a great film. It's based on Stephen King's novel, and it is really good. And it is about a girl who's kind of withdrawn, and you know, she's shy, she's not the coolest girl in school, but she basically has a hard time. Her mother is really awful to her, and she gets invited to the prom by this guy, and at the prom she's thinking, you know, life is finally good for her, she's having a great time, like, this is such a great day. And then these awful, horrible girls decide to freaking dump pig's blood on her and make her the joke of the whole school. Now, Carrie learns that she has, like, supernatural abilities, and she decides to use her supernatural abilities for evil, okay? They are not for good, and she basically goes and takes revenge on everybody who has ever hurt her. The girls who, like, dropped the pig's blood on her, she just takes revenge on everybody. But it's such a good film. I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is The Shining, which is literally a horror classic. It is so good, and it is about Jack Torrance, who becomes a winter caretaker at the isolated Overlook Hotel in Colorado. Hoping to cure his writer's block, he settles in along with his wife, Wendy, and his son, Danny, who is plagued by psychic premonitions. As Jack's writing goes nowhere and Danny's visions become more disturbing, Jack discovers the hotel's dark secrets and begins to unravel into a homicidal maniac hell-bent on terrorizing his family. Here's Johnny! It is such a good film. I definitely recommend you guys watch it. It is so good. Very scary, literally a classic. Go check it out. The next movie I have for you guys is Scream. Now, I'm pretty sure you already seen Scream because everybody has been wearing that Halloween costume ever since the movie came out. But it is such a good movie. It's basically the ghost Halloween costume with, like, the mouth open. I really recommend you guys to watch it. There are many movies in this franchise. Scream is really good. You know, basically at the beginning of the movie, the girl gets the call and everything goes downhill from there. You know, everybody starts dying. The guy is killing everybody. He's literally just the biggest serial killer, crazy knife-wielding maniac. Now, the second Scream movie is really good. I kind of feel like it's better than the first movie, but the second movie is about Sydney, the main character, and tabloid reporter Gail Weathers, who survived the events of the first Scream, but their nightmare isn't over. When the two college students are murdered at a sneak preview of Stab, a movie based on the events from the first film, it's clear a copycat killer is on the loose. Sydney and Gail, as well as fellow survivors Deputy Dewey and Randy, have to find out who is behind this new murder spree before they all end up dead. So it is so good. There's probably like 6 movies in this franchise, probably more, but it is so good. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Alright, so if you want a real scary movie for Halloween, then next up is The Conjuring. Now, The Conjuring is about, in 1970, paranormal investigators and demonologists Lorraine and Ed are summoned to the house of Carolyn and Roger Perron. The Perrons and their 5 daughters have recently moved into a secluded farmhouse where a supernatural presence has made itself known. Though the manifestations are relatively benign at first, events soon escalate in horrifying fashion, especially after the Warrens discover the house's sick history. So this is a really scary movie and it's not for the faint of heart. So I'm just telling you guys that right now. The Conjuring, if you want a really scary movie for Halloween, then this is it. It will creep you out, make you scared, make you not want to sleep at night. That is the movie for you. Now the next movie I have, which you probably already heard about, is Annabelle. Now Annabelle is based on a true story. Annabelle is actually based on a doll, and the doll is actually a real doll. It is in a museum right now as we speak, so you can actually go see it if you wanted to. But Annabelle is about John Form, who thinks he's found the perfect gift for his expectant wife Mia, a vintage doll in a beautiful white dress. However, the couple's delight doesn't last long. One terrible night, devil worshippers invade their home and launch a violent attack against the couple. When the cultists try to summon a demon, they smear a bloody wound on the nursery wall and drip blood on Mia's doll, thereby turning the former object of beauty into a conduit for ultimate evil. So Annabelle is really scary, and I suggest if you want a scary movie, then this is it for you. But also do not watch this movie if you get really scared easily, because this is very scary. But it's a good movie and I definitely recommend you check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys, which I really love, it is Cabin in the Woods. Now Cabin in the Woods is really scary, and it has Jesse Williams in it and Chris Hemsworth, so just saying, you got some eye candy there if you want. But it is such a good film, and it's currently streaming on Hulu right now. And Cabin in the Woods is about when 5 college friends arrive at a remote forest cabin for a little vacation. Little do they expect the horrors that await them. One by one, the youth fall victim to backwoods zombies, but there is another factor at play. 2 scientists are manipulating the ghoulish goings on. But even as the body count rises, there is yet more at work than meets the eye. And I really suggest you guys go watch it. It is on Hulu right now. Go check it out. It's so good. Now the next movie I have for you guys is Evil Dead. Now Evil Dead is a really great film if you want something really scary to watch. Like, this is really creepy. There are multiple films in this franchise, but the original is still as scary as it was back then. Now Evil Dead is about Ash Williams, his girlfriend, and 3 pals who hike into the woods to a cabin for a fun night away. Why is every single movie about freaking cabins? See, this is why you don't go camping. Do not go to a cabin, because it's all based off of like crazy evil stuff happening while you're in a cabin. So it's basically about them finding an old book whose text reawakens the dead when it's read aloud. The friends inadvertently release a flood of evil and must fight for their lives or become one of the evil dead. Ash watches his friends become possessed and must make a difficult decision before daybreak to save his own life in this, the first of Sam Raimi's trilogy. But it is such a good film. I really recommend you guys watch it. Now the next movie I have for you guys is called The Thing. Now The Thing is a really old movie, but it's a really good movie too. It's really scary. And it is about, in remote Antarctica, a group of American research scientists are disturbed at their base camp by a helicopter shooting at a sled dog. When they take the dog in, it brutally attacks both human beings and canines in the camp, and they discover that the beast can assume the shape of its victims. So a resourceful helicopter pilot and camp doctor lead the camp crew in a desperate, gory battle against the vicious creature before it picks them all off one by one. So The Thing is basically about a group of scientists who are in Antarctica, and they find something in the ice, and it's basically an alien. So instead of leaving it there for good reason, it is stuck in ice for all this time, leave it there, they decide like, oh, let's go study it, let's, you know, experiment on it. And they take it out of the ice, and it literally comes alive, and it can inhabit multiple forms and go into different people and different things. Like, you do not know which body it inhabited, like you don't know which one is the alien, the evil thing, and it's just killing everybody one by one. And so the whole team is trying to figure out a way to stop it before it kills them all off. And that is The Thing. It's a really good movie, and I really suggest you guys check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys is The Purge, which I'm pretty sure you guys all seen, but it's a really good film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I really like the last one that they made. So The Purge is basically about America making all illegal activity legal for one night a year. And on this night, everybody gets to kill people that is legal, steal, rob, whatever. Like, they can do whatever they want that is illegal on this very night without getting in trouble, without going to prison. And it is very crazy. It's all the things that they do. Like, there's multiple movies in this, so every movie is something different, and it's very crazy, very creepy, very wild. But in the first movie, basically this family like decides to stay in for purge night, and this guy comes up to their door basically asking them to let him in, and they do end up letting him in. But the people who are after the guy are basically now like, we want him and we're gonna do anything we want to get him. So now they're trying to get into the family's home to get the guy, and they're basically trying to fight these people off. But you know, these people are killing everybody and everything is legal, so they're basically trying to survive that night. And it is such a good film. I really recommend you guys go check it out if you haven't seen it already. Now the next movie I have for you guys is Cabin Fever. Now there are two films named Cabin Fever, and one is a recreation of the first one. I originally liked the first one just because Sean, who plays in Boy Meets World, is in it, and I love Sean. But it is such a good film, and I really hope you guys check it out. And basically, Cabin Fever is about Bert, a college student vacationing with his friends in the mountains, mistakenly shoots a local man with a skin infection while hunting in the woods. Panicking, he abandons the scene and leaves the man for dead. When the man stumbles into a reservoir, he affects the water supply, and soon one of Bert's friends becomes infected. The friends struggle to stop the contagious flesh-eating disease while on the run from a group of ornery backwoods locals out for revenge. So it is such a good film. I really recommend you guys watch it. It is so good. The second one is also good as well. I just like the original more, but it is such a good film. I really hope you guys check it out. Watch it. So good. Now the next movie I have for you guys is The Boy. Now The Boy came out a little while ago. It is currently streaming on Netflix, and it is about a young American named Greta who takes a job as a nanny for an 8-year-old boy in a remote English village. Why is it always a nanny in a remote English village? Why? It always is! To her surprise, Greta learns that the child of her new employers is a life-size doll. They care for the doll as if it was human, which helps the couple to cope with the death of their own son 20 years earlier. When Greta violates a list of strict rules, a series of disturbing and inexplicable events brings her worst fears to life, leading her to believe that the doll is still alive. So it is such a good movie. It is really scary. I'm not kidding you guys, it's really scary. But if you want to see something really scary this Halloween, then this is for you. I definitely recommend The Boy. Go check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys is not really scary, but it's really interesting. It's a thriller, and it is Split. Now Split ended in a way that I did not think it was going to end. Like, the way it started is completely different than the way I thought it was going to end. So basically Split is about a man named Kevin who has 23 different personalities, and he goes to a psychiatrist and basically like becomes a different person while he's talking to a psychiatrist. And one personality usually dominates over the others. Some personalities can't really escape through because other ones are just way too strong. He's compelled to abduct 3 teenagers led by the willful observant Casey. Kevin reaches a war for survival among all of those contained within him, as well as everyone around him, as the walls between his compartments shatter. So it's a really good movie. I definitely recommend you guys watch Split because it's just very interesting, and I really think you guys will like it, so definitely check that out. Now the next movie I have for you guys is Child's Play. Now this is such a classic, okay? This is about the doll named Chucky, and it is such a good movie. There are multiple movies in this franchise. It's The Bride of Chucky, which is also a good movie as well, and it is very scary. I remember this scaring me when I was a kid, but now when I watch it, it's just kind of funny to me. But it's such a good film, and it's basically a horror slash slasher film, and it's basically about a young man named Andy. After moving to New York City, he receives a special present from his mother, which seems like an innocent doll becomes his new best friend. When the doll suddenly takes on a life of its own, Andy unites the other neighborhood children to stop the sinister toy from wreaking bloody havoc. So it is a really good movie. It's basically Chucky being like a voodoo doll. He's like possessed by an evil demon from however long ago. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Now the next movie I have for you guys is Bird Box. Now Bird Box is a horror slash sci-fi movie, and it's a really good film. I didn't really think it was scary, but I thought it was really interesting. Like, it's a really interesting story. It's a really good film. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. It is on Netflix right now. It's a Netflix original film, and it is about when a mysterious force decimates the population. Only one thing is certain: if you can see it, you die. The survivors must now avoid coming face to face with an entity that takes the form of their worst fears. Searching for hope and a new beginning, a woman and her children embark on a dangerous journey through the woods and down a river to find the one place that may offer sanctuary. To make it, they'll have to cover their eyes from the evil that chases them and complete the trip blindfolded. It is a really good film. I really recommend you guys check it out if you haven't seen it already, because it's definitely one of those films that like you have to see. It is really interesting. It is really good. Definitely watch Bird Box. Now the next movie I have for you guys is American Psycho. Now this is a really old film, but it's a good film. It's not really scary, but it is very disturbing. It is very, very disturbing, and it's very mature. So if you're young, I do not suggest you watch this movie. It really is an 18+ movie. There's a lot of nudity, there's a lot of, you know, sexual stuff, it's a lot of violence, it's a lot of craziness, but it's a really good film. And it's kind of scary in a sense to watch it and think that, yeah, this is possible. This could be a real human being right now doing this stuff. And the name is perfect. Like, before I watched the movie, I was just like, what kind of name is this? Like, who names a movie this? This literally is nothing. Like, you couldn't come up with a better name. And then you watch the movie and you're like, yeah, this is the perfect name for the movie. This is it. Like, just, yeah, like, you'll know. Like, you watch a movie and you're like, yeah, American Psycho. But it is such a good movie for creepiness for Halloween. Like, it's not scary at all, but it's really creepy and disturbing. And it just, you'll feel so, when you're done with it. So American Psycho is set in New York City in 1987, and it is about a handsome young urban professional, Patrick Bateman, who lives a second life as a gruesome serial killer by night. And it basically shows him, like, you know, going out and killing people, and him and his fiance, him and his friend, him and his partners at his firm, all this type of stuff. But it is very wild. It's really good, but it's so disturbing. It is such a disturbing film. Now, the next movie I recommend to you guys is Hereditary. Now, this is a really scary film, like really scary. So I suggest, if you guys are not into scary films, do not watch this film because it is very scary. And it is about when the matriarch of the Graham family passes away, her daughter and grandchildren begin to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry, trying to outrun their sinister fate they have inherited. But it is on Amazon Prime right now, so go check that out. Now, the next film I have for you guys is Silence of the Lambs. Now, this is literally a classic. It is such a good film, and I really hope you guys watch it because it's one of those films that, like, you should definitely watch. But it is about Clarice Starling, a top student at the FBI's training academy, and Jack Crawford, who wants Clarice to interview Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant psychiatrist who is also a violent psychopath. Serving life behind bars for vicious acts of murder and cannibalism, Crawford believes that Lecter may have insight into a case, and that Starling, as an attractive young woman, may be just the bait to draw him out. So it is such a creepy, scary film. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. So I really recommend you guys watch this movie, The Silence of the Lambs. It's a really good movie, and the relationship between a detective and the serial killer is really interesting. It is really creepy, but it's such a good film to watch, so I definitely recommend you guys check that out. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is Midsommar. Now, this is a Swedish film, and it's a really scary, creepy film. Be careful when you watch this movie because it is really scary, but it's such a good movie. And it is about a couple who travel to Sweden to visit their friend's rural hometown for its fabled Midsummer Festival. But what begins as an idyllic retreat quickly devolves into an increasingly violent and bizarre competition at the hands of a pagan cult. So this is such a gruesome, scary movie. There's a lot of violence, a lot of blood. It's very scary, very creepy, but it is such a good scary movie for Halloween. So if you really like that scary, creepy stuff, then definitely check out this movie because it is definitely one of those movies you should watch. It's a good movie. Check it out. Now, the next movie I have for you guys is Lights Out. Now, Lights Out is a really good movie. It is currently streaming on Hulu right now. And it's about a girl named Rebecca who leaves home. And she thinks like her childhood fears are behind her, but really they're just catching up to her. And as a young girl growing up, she never really was sure of what was real when the lights went out at night. Now her little brother Martin is experiencing the same unexplained and terrifying events that jeopardize her safety and sanity. Holding a mysterious attachment to their mother, a supernatural entity has returned with a vengeance to torment the entire family. Now, it is such a good movie. It is so creepy. A lot of scary things happen when the lights go out. Just know that, okay? When the lights go out, that is go time. It is so scary, so creepy, but it is such a good film. I definitely recommend you guys to watch it for this Halloween. Now, the next movie I recommend for you guys to watch is The Hollow Man. Now, this is a really old film. It's starring Kevin Bacon, but it's a really good film. It's basically about this crazy scientist who accidentally makes himself invisible. And while he's invisible, you know, he doesn't really know how to turn himself back. At first he wants to turn himself back, but then he kind of like accepts it and it's like really happy that he's invisible. And he basically just becomes like a psychopath. He just torments everybody around him, innocent people, people in his like community, people where he lives, people in his workspace. He just torments everybody. And he has like this fake silicone skin that they made for him, which usually he just takes off so he could just, you know, drive everybody insane. And you know, at some point he just takes it way too far and they need to get rid of him. I remember watching this when I was younger, and this movie was so scary to me. I really was scared of this movie. and it reminds me of The Invisible Man that recently came out this year, which is also a really good movie. So you guys should definitely check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It's a really good movie, very scary, but it reminds me of that movie. And this movie, I remember watching it literally a couple months back, because I haven't seen it since I was a little girl, and I remember just being like kind of the same scary that it was back then. It's just so creepy, such a scary story, such a scary topic. It is just very interesting, very scary, but perfect to watch for this Halloween. Go check it out, guys. Now the next movie I have for you guys is The Rental. Now The Rental is a really scary movie, but it's a really good movie. It is currently streaming on Netflix, I believe, or maybe it's Hulu. I need to double check that. But it is about two couples on an oceanside getaway grow suspicious that their host of their seemingly perfect rental house may be spying on them. Before long, what should have been a celebratory weekend trip turns into something far more sinister. So basically in this movie, they go on vacation and the house that they rented, just everything evil just starts happening. Just bad, evil stuff happen. It is so scary, but it's such a good movie and I definitely recommend you guys check it out. It just came out this year, so it's very new. So go check it out. Let me know what you guys think about it. So the next movie I have for you guys is Black Box. Now this just came out this year. It's a really good film. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. And this is about, after losing his wife and memory in a car accident, a single father undergoes an agonizing experimental treatment that causes him to question who he really is. Like literally, he's just questioning everything after his wife died. Like maybe he killed her, maybe he didn't. But it is such a good film. I really recommend you guys check it out. It's so scary, so creepy, but it's so good. Now the next film I have for you guys is called Gerald's Game. Now this is a really good film. It is currently on Netflix. And it's basically about a woman and her husband who go to this cabin to have a little getaway time with one another. And while they're, you know, in their little romance scene, the wife is handcuffed to the bed and the husband actually passes away. And she is stuck handcuffed in the middle of nowhere in this cabin on the bed with nobody to help her. And she just starts like hallucinating and going through all these type of like experiences, and it's very creepy and very scary. She's literally going crazy, but it's such a good film, you guys. You really have to see it. If you have Netflix, go watch it. It's so good. Now, next movie I have for you guys is a really good movie. It is very scary, and it's basically about a family who goes to a winter cabin for a family retreat. And basically it's a divorced husband with his two kids and the husband's girlfriend. And the husband quickly has to depart for work while they're at the retreat, and he leaves his kids with the girlfriend, and the kids do not like this girlfriend. They do not like her at all, and a bunch of creepy, crazy, scary stuff start happening. And it is such a good movie, but it is so scary. It came out last year. It is currently streaming on Hulu. Go watch it. It is so good. Check it out. Whew! Alright, that is it. We have finally gotten through. If you guys made it to the end, that is amazing. I give you guys an applause because that was wild. I really hope you guys check out all these movies on this list. It's such a good time to watch all these scary movies right before October ends. So go check out everything. I really hope you guys liked this video, and if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite Halloween movie is, because I would love to check that out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next week for another video. Bye.
Perfect.